tail of the tape. How do the numbers match up, Steve?
Well, the numbers for these two pretty similar. The interesting number is the age. Bika only 3 years older, but the perception is that he's much older, and that's the theme of the night. The veteran who's been in with the best versus the far less experienced up-and-comer, which is Dyah Davis.
All right, let's talk about the rules for this bout.
And the rules are the ABC rules: no standing 8, no 3 knockdown. Ref or doctor can stop the fight. Fighter can't be saved by the bell in any round. And if there's a butt that causes a stoppage before 4, it's a no contest. After that, we would go to the cards.
So it's Dyah Davis and Sakio Bika in a 10-round super middleweight matchup. And with that, we go to the center of the ring for the first time. And a ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr. Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to the Home Depot Center here in Carson, California for our Showtime Extreme special attraction brought to you by AT Entertainment, Golden Boy Productions, and Gary Shaw Productions, along with Showtime. Sponsored by Corona, La Cerveza Más Fina, and AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Well, fans, this championship attraction coming away is also made possible by DeBella Entertainment. It is sanctioned by the NABF Supervisor Craig Hubble and the WBO Supervisor Mark Reel, along with the California State Athletic Commission, Commissioner in attendance Linda Forrester. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Beverly Hills, California, Gwen Adair. From West Covina, California, Hall of Famer Marty Denkin. And from Chula Vista, California, Alejandro Rochin. Introducing our 3rd man of the ring, the referee in charge, Thomas Taylor. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the NABF and vacant WBO Intercontinental Super Middleweight Championship. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks, fighting out of Sydney, Australia by way of Cameroon. He weighed in at 166.5 pounds with a record of 29 wins, 5 losses and 2 draws. He has 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former world title challenger, currently ranked number 16 in the WBC, introducing Sakio Bika. His opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with gold and gray trim, joining us from Coconut Creek, Florida. He weighed in at 167.5 pounds. His fine record includes 21 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the NABF champion and WBC number 4 ranked super middleweight, introducing Dyah Ali Davis. Once again, a referee in charge, Thomas Taylor, now to give instructions. Scheduled 10 rounds of boxing.
Gentlemen, we've gone over the rules in the dressing room. I want to remind you, protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my commands. Touch gloves, back to your corner. Marty, good. Gwen,
so with that, we are set to go with our first fight of the evening. As we said, you know, to quote the old adage, styles make fights. I think this is a very interesting contrast in styles.
For sure, Sakio Bika, Barry, no more than 2 fights in a year since '07. So will he need a little time to get into his rhythm?
I think he's going to have to try to bully Davis, and I think that's his intent. Now, whether or not Davis allows that may be the biggest question of the night. Round 1, we're going 10. Davis in the white trunks, Bika in the blue.
It'll be very interesting to see whether Sakio Bika, with the new trainer Kevin Cunningham, whether he changes his style at all or tries to. He throws pretty wide shots, telegraphs his punches a lot, but he's so physically strong.
Let him go, let him go, let him go.
Yeah, throws a lot of outside-in punches, but as you mentioned earlier,
no punch.
These are the fights that I watch him, a very good finisher. Now, Davis told us that he plans to battle him a little bit more, not necessarily fight the fight that we've become accustomed to seeing in Dyah Davis.
Yeah, that's what's going to be interesting from Dyah Davis's perspective. Is his movement lateral or is his movement backward? Big difference.
The very first thing he said to us yesterday when we spoke to him was there will be no running.
Come on, guys, break.
And so far he's been true to that.
No punch. Watch your shoulder, right?
20-foot ring, fairly big. That certainly favors Dyah Davis.
Largely a feeling out round this first round. Not yet midway through. Good right hand by Bika. And that backed Davis up. I think it got his attention.
And what Dyah Davis does when Bika gets close is critical. You know, it's not pretty to grab, but if he grabs out.
Bika getting there with another right hand. And right now, this is the fight that Bika wants.
Exactly right. What I was going to say is Davis, if he grabs, well, at least he's not going to get hit.
And again, that chopping right hand to the back of the head of Davis.
Davis is trying to grab, but unsuccessfully so, and that's where Sakio Bika's immense strength comes into play.
Bika, very crafty fighter. Knows all the little tricks. And boy, it's really a here it comes right hand, isn't it? There's a left hand that gets Davis going backward. Bika with power in both hands.
Davis standing in the pocket, but he's not scoring much. This is Sakio Bika's round for sure.
No punch. Straight back, no punch. Let's go. Box.
Inside of 30 seconds remaining here in this first round. A round that, as Steve Farhood mentioned, has been dominated by Sakio Bika.
Bika looks very relaxed. That's one of the things Kevin Cunningham was trying to instill in him, loosen him up. And he does seem relaxed so far, Barry.
Yeah, the two have been together just 6 weeks. And Kevin told us another good shot. That was a left hand by Bika and a right hand, and Davis stumbles away at the bell.
Couldn't have drawn that. You couldn't have drawn that round up any better for Sakio Bika.
Absolutely perfect. And Davis played right to it. I think Davis is still not quite 100%.
We take a look. Look how wide that left hook was from Bika.
Thank you, Mark.
And he rode with that right hand. That's an experienced move. He saw the right hand coming. It might have clipped him a tiny bit, but not very much. Actually, Davis got drawn into Bika's fight there a little bit, throwing some wide shots himself. He can't afford to do that.
So big first round for Bika.
You survived that round because he can't hit or punch like you think he can. So you be the one this round, okay?
Mouthpiece in, seconds out. Here we go. Clear the ring.
Hands up, baby.
Clear the ring.
Mouthpiece. Back up. Back up. Back up. Box.
So here we go, round two. Big first round for Bika. Remember, this fight scheduled for 10 rounds. Long way to go. And a warm night here in this outdoor venue at the Home Depot Center, so that could play a part also.
Sure can. It's early enough in the day where the sun is a factor. It's a factor with me and you anyway. I don't know if the fighters.
That's right. I'm tired. I don't know about you. I've only got about 9 more rounds in me.
There is a canopy, but the sun right now is shining in the ring. And you know, the jab is so important for Dyah Davis. It's his best weapon, and there he lands it. He's not throwing it a lot, and you have to ask why. It's not because Bika keeps his gloves up that high, and it's not because Bika's not in range. So Dyah Davis has to get a little more confidence to throw that left hand. Maybe he doesn't want to get countered with that overhand right.
That right hand missed by Bika over the head of Davis. You can tell Bika a very heavy-handed puncher.
Yeah, and you hear it. You know, when he slaps that right hand against the side to the body, you really hear it.
Come on, guys. Break. Straight back, straight back. Stop. No punch. Let's go.
It's early in this fight, Barry, but it seems to me like at this point anyway, Dyah Davis is concerned about that right hand. There he gets clipped.
With left hand. Now Davis in a little bit of retreat.
Bika is so unorthodox, and he winds up so much with those shots. I think for a good skilled fighter, it's actually harder to be on the defensive. It's harder to play defense against a guy like Bika. You don't know where those shots are coming from.
Come on, guys. Work out of it. Hurry! Stop! No punch. Straight back. Let's go. Box.
And again, a left hand. Started with a right and the left hand pushed Davis back. I don't think it really hurt him.
Davis just isn't getting off, Barry. He had 2 connects in round 1. Not many more so far here.
No, and he's theoretically the busier fighter. There was the jab, but only one, and then he ties Bika up.
Bika's fighting smart. It seems as if he's actually waiting to be the counterpuncher here. And as a result, Davis is largely keeping his hands in his pockets. Watch Bika waiting. Well, that time he led.
Now, right here, Davis is looking directly into the sun. I remember Sugar Ray Leonard telling me that that was a tactic that he used to use when he fought, at, just about this hour.
That's old school, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Love it.
Come on, guys. Hands are free.
No. End of round 2.
Remember, when you scoop slide to the inside,
and in round 2, action from round 2, Bika very successful with the left hand. Barry called it. And here it is. They're wide shots from Bika. This is not exactly how you draw it up. But Davis threw a left hand at the same time that Bika did, and Bika landed first. That's just good, better timing and a little bit of luck, too.
Yeah, and Bika is giving Davis a little bit of everything. He was right hand happy in the first round, and effectively so, I might add. And in the second round, it was the left hand that was doing the damage. So Bika so far tonight, the whole package.
All right, settle down, settle down. You want another rest?
Bounce, guys, let's go. Let's bounce.
Settle down, all right? Slip, slide, use your jab, all right?
Back up. Box.
So this is round 3, a fight that so far Sakio Bika has controlled.
And Barry, we saw Kevin Cunningham, veteran trainer from St. Louis, in Bika's corner. Very interesting marriage because they're new together, but Kevin Cunningham's trained Corey Spinks and Devin Alexander, both primarily boxers, classic boxers. That's not Sakio Bika.
Another good right hand from Bika. No, in fact, Kevin told us that he didn't even try to change anything. He couldn't in the space of 6 weeks. Just refine things a little bit. So far, the product has been very good.
I told you last round, in round 1, there were 2 connects for Davis. In round 2, same thing, 2 connects. Judges are not going to give you the round with 2 connects, Barry.
I would think not. And I think it's more about Bika than it is about Davis. And you made the point earlier that the way Bika's throwing his punches, Davis has no choice but to keep his hands in his pockets.
Get him up.
Take a look at our show stats. Those kind of indicate exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah, neither fighter overly busy, but Davis only 31 punches, lands at a rate of 6%, 9% on the fight.
Good left hand to the body by Bika. And a right hand, a roundhouse right hand that somehow got there. And another one. That went straight a little low.
Yeah, you got to get those up, man. That was real low. Get it up, all right? Stop right here. You all right? All right, let's go.
That one landed on the hip of Davis and draws a warning.
And I would have to guess, Barry, that that is not the first time a referee has ever warned Sakio Bika.
That's probably a lucky guess.
His fight with Ward got pretty ugly at times. Elbows and heads. And
yeah, it was mentioned earlier. I mean, he's got all those little tricks, you know, kind of clutching with one hand and punching with the other and turning an opponent.
And that might have been the fight where we learned that Andre Ward knows those same tricks.
Exactly.
Well, Davis right now, he's not really in this fight, mentally or physically.
No, in fact, he's getting stung again in this round.
Straight back. Stop. Let's go.
Dyah Davis has a good chin. When he fought and lost on Showbox to Aaron Pryor Jr., he ate huge right hands in that fight. Stayed up, showed a lot of heart.
Stop. Stop. No punch. Good job. Good job.
So far tonight, though, Steve, it seems as though he doesn't have the answer for any of Bika's punches. Slick little move by Bika there. Another right hand backs Davis up.
Stop. No punch. Stop. Break. Time.
That is the end of round 3 and another dominant round for Sakio Bika.
For sure, and you know, I've made reference 2 or 3 times to how strong he is. What that means is not just that you're going to hurt your opponent with your punches, but that you're going to move him with your punches. And that's what Bika did in round 3 against Dyah Davis. One of those shots, Barry called it right on the hip. Actually, it was almost the buttocks.
It was, yeah.
The old right to the buttocks. And Bika turning to the referee, not a good idea, Sakio. Don't take your eye off your opponent. And there's a left hook, kind of a cuffing left hook. But Davis's hands by his sides there. Davis looks discouraged to me. He really does. That's 3 rounds to 0 for Sakio Bika.
Yeah, and 3 rounds that really were lopsided that Davis just didn't appear to be in at all at any time. And Davis also kind of falling into patterns. He's ducking the same way almost every time, and that's allowing Bika to connect with that chopping right hand. He's scored with that punch many times, but the problem for Davis is that Bika scored with just about every punch.
Well, in that power punches through 3 rounds, 4 touchdowns for Bika, 28. 1 extra point for Davis, 1. 28-1 in power shots.
And that's pretty indicative of the scorecard.
Well, Dyah Davis just missed with a big right hand, but at least he threw a big right hand.
And Bika, in the meantime, starts with a strong jab here in round 4. And that's something I must say, in watching Bika's previous fights, I did not see. So that may be something that Cunningham has worked on him with.
Early in the fight, Davis was sliding under that overhand right.
No punch. No punch. Straight back.
It's a good idea.
Box.
And Dyah Davis is going to have to adjust here. He didn't do it well against the 6'4" Aaron Pryor Jr. when they fought on Showbox. And that's where the difference in amateur experience can come into play, because Dyah Davis had no amateur experience. Sakio Bika was an Olympian in 2000 for Cameroon.
That's right. Moved to Australia and has lived in Australia ever since. That right hand again scored.
Bika's not just more aggressive, but his timing on his shots just seems better. It's as if Dyah Davis is punching a half beat too late.
Yeah, well, and it's surprising because one thing Bika does do is really telegraph his punches. A 3-punch combination again and a left to the head, and Davis did slip a left hand of his own in.
And when you punch like Bika does with those strong, wide arm shots, it's very easy to get tired, but he does not. He's a very well-conditioned fighter, always has been.
Stop. No punch. No punch. Let him go. Straight back. Let's go. Box.
Good left hand there.
Davis started the exchange. Bika finished it.
And another left hand by Bika.
Yeah, if Bika's going to out-jab Dyah Davis, Davis is in big trouble.
Hands are free.
The right hand. And Bika just seems able to score almost at will in this round.
And that was just a telling moment there. Dyah Davis landed a jab and fell in and clinched as if he did not want to go through with what might happen after he threw a punch. Very telling.
Break, all right? Box.
Inside of 30 seconds remaining here, round 4, and it's more of same for Sakio Bika. In fact, this one may be even more lopsided than the first 3. Those are 3 misses by Davis.
Let's for the bell.
Bika's just simply stronger.
And he's emboldened. He's confident.
As well he should be. Dyah Davis has been very quiet. He did have one little moment in the sun here.
Yeah, they can search all they want in the truck for a replay to make Davis look good. It's going to be hard to find. That right hand, again, Bika rode with it just enough. Sort of like Roberto Duran used to do. Sees the right hand coming, he rides with it.
And a reminder, coming up at 9 o'clock, Showtime Championship Boxing, a 4-fight card with 2 co-main events. Our colleague and multi-time world champion Antonio Tarver will take on Latif Coyote at cruiserweight, and former world champion Winky Wright fights undefeated Peter Quillen at middleweight. That's all coming up at 9 o'clock tonight on Showtime Championship Boxing.
Barry, I came up with the idea to mic Antonio Tarver during the fight, but the commission didn't like the idea.
Didn't he tell the press conference he thought he might do a little commentary between rounds?
Oh, he would. He would if they let him, believe me.
Incidentally, want to congratulate our colleague Al Bernstein, who you'll see with Gus Johnson on Showtime Championship Boxing tonight, on his induction into the Boxing Hall of Fame. It's quite an honor for quite a guy.
And nobody is more deserving. Al has a book coming out now.
That's right.
Getting the Good Guy Award from the Boxing Writers Association next week. It's Al Bernstein week in boxing.
Is.
Stop, stop. No punch, no punch. Good job, good job. Box.
Meantime, this is round 5, and Davis starting to run out of rounds and has not been close in any one of them.
Well, Davis last round, Barry, had 7 connects. That's an offensive explosion for him for this fight.
The bad news is almost every time he connected, he got countered.
Good point.
Yeah, Sakio Bika has moved up at 167 pounds here, and he looks like he can carry that. Not every fighter can carry that weight. He was
straight back. Stop. No punch. Let's go.
Fighting it, has fought as high as 171, as low as 158.
Stop. No punch. Break it. Straight back. Box.
Sakio Bika belongs right here at 168.
Yeah, good weight for him.
Yeah, he's fought the very best. I mean, his losses at the War, debut to Calzaghe, you know.
Good job.
Body work.
Watch your heads, guys. Watch the heads.
Steve, here are the show stats, and we're talking about power punches, and you talk about no contest.
Well, you can close your eyes and throw punches at your opponent, and you're going to land 4 in 4 rounds. That's a frighteningly low number for Davis, and even the attempts, 57 for 4 rounds, incredibly low.
And what's happening here is Bika's out jabbing the jabber. I mean, Davis just threw 2 jabs. He missed with both of them. Bika came back with 2 jabs of his own and scored with both of them.
Exactly right, and that Davis is tentative. He's been tentative from the first round.
That left hand by Davis missed. Bika slipping an uppercut in. He throws that punch very well.
Stop! Stop! Hey, a lot of holding. Listen, a lot of holding, all right? Watch your holding. Box.
Little warning for holding from the referee, Thomas Taylor.
It's funny, I was about to say I didn't think there'd been that much holding, especially from what we might have thought.
Well, Davis did get 1 punch in. He took 3, now 4 in return. Good left hand right there by Bika, and Davis just simply has no answer. That right hand missed, and the left hand comes right back. And a left to the body. And Davis in trouble at the bell. I don't know what you could say about Bika. I mean, he has been absolutely impressive tonight.
5-0 for Sakio Bika. And we're going to take a look at action from round 5. Bika, we call him unorthodox. This is why. How many guys would throw a combination like this? Sets it up with a left, throws the right hand, and then follows through with a double left hook with Davis right in range. So it's kind of hard to play defense against Sakio Bika. And we go to the end of the round. Look where Dyah Davis is. He's taken a lot of punishment. It has not come against the ropes. But that's where he was at the end of round 5, and there's almost a look of resignation in his eyes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was a what do I do kind of look.
Back up.
Box. Round 6 of this 10-round fight. A fight that has been dominated by the man in the blue trunks, Sakio Bika.
Come on, guys.
No knockdown so far, but very lopsided
Let's go.
in favor of Bika.
Dyah Davis, not a huge puncher. Sakio Bika, not a fighter most likely to get hurt or knocked out. That makes it even more difficult for Dyah Davis at this point. So what can he do differently? Well, one thing, when Bika jabs, Dyah Davis has to land the right hand over that jab. Counter. Let Bika lead with the left. Try to throw that right hand. At least maybe he can land some power shots. 4 punches landed in round number 5 for Dyah Davis.
Little bit of a combination there, but kind of pity-pat punches from Davis. Good body shot by Bika, digging the left hand of the body.
Guys, hands are free. Work out of it.
And Barry, I would think that when you're fighting in the Southern California sun and it's not going well, I think that sun probably hurts you a little more.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I don't think Sakio Bika feels it's that hot in there, but I think Dyah Davis is broiling.
Right hand again by Bika. I think your point at the end of the last round, well taken, that Davis is just starting to look resigned. And I think Bika's just wearing him down.
Saw the same look in his eye on Showbox when he lost to Aaron Pryor Jr.
Hands are free.
He showed a lot of heart in that fight. He's shown a lot of heart tonight. What he's not showing is any effective boxing.
Well, you mentioned earlier, I mean, he's learning on the job. He had no amateur experience, didn't start boxing until he was 23, despite the legacy of his dad. Did get a little left hand in, but again, it's not thrown with a lot of intent. A little welt under the right eye of Davis now.
Stop. Good, go.
That's what you get when you don't wear sunscreen, Barry. I've told you that for years.
I know that. That's why I don't welt when we're doing these fights.
See the pace right now. Because Davis is not throwing many punches, the pace is totally dominated by Sakio Bika. They're fighting when he wants to fight, and they're not fighting and they're taking rests when he wants to rest.
And this round, he's so far kind of taken off, but even at that, I think he's done enough to win the round.
Listen for the bell,
Agreed.
guys.
Again, that left hand. Bika takes a long look at Davis as he goes back to the corner.
He got this. He got it. We got it. We got it.
Take a deep breath, son. You gotta relax.
Deep breath. Deep breath. Let it out. Here, rinse your mouth out with this. Rinse your mouth out.
Sit back. Sit back. There you go. That way you can breathe. Just take a deep breath. You got this.
Listen. Relax. You in tip-top shape.
You make them look at you different. You make a change today on what you need to do to make you the champion. If you wanted, you'll go do it, son. Vaseline, Bobby. Come on.
Round 7.
Round 7, man. Come on, man. 3 more. You got 3 more rounds, son. You got to kick his ass.
He said seconds out. Here we go. In the ring.
So round 7, again, Thomas Taylor has to tell Bika to back up into his corner, but Bika's been doing it the entire fight. But once the bell does ring, it's been all Bika.
And in the corner of Dyah Davis, we saw his trainer, Charles Mooney, who was the teammate of Howard Davis on the 1976 Olympic team. Mooney won a silver medal. Now, that's not the normal trainer for Dyah Davis. It's usually John David Jackson, the former world champ. He's busy with other fighters right now. Good pep talk from Charlie Mooney, but I don't know if it's going to have any effect.
Yeah. Kind of a pep talk in the corner of Bika also, and just more about stay on the gas, don't let him up.
Boy, when Bika throws that right hand, when he does throw it straight, it's just missing.
Well,
there it
was. As advertised. Best punch of the fight by Bika, and now Davis is in trouble. And another right hand by Bika. Davis trying to cover up. Uppercut slipped in by Bika. Davis still on wobbly legs. Throws a left hand that gets in of his own.
That's going to be the only time Dyah Davis is going to land a shot, Barry, is during Bika's flurries.
Well, that one really got his attention. I think he's back now, but Bika just continuing to wear Davis down.
No punch, no punch, no punch.
And you want a stat that tells you the whole story of this fight. Jabs through round 6, connects. Bika 34, Davis 14. If we knew that number ahead of time, we'd know who was winning.
No, exactly. And Davis's game, of course, is the jab, and he either by choice is not throwing it or Bika has not allowed him to. I prefer to think the latter, actually.
I'm with you.
Yes.
Oh, that right hand is getting closer and closer because Dyah Davis's left hand is by his side.
Yep.
And it's funny, yesterday at the fighter meetings, Bika told us Dyah Davis, he just wants to run. Well, Dyah Davis isn't running. Sakio Bika, maybe his job's that much easier because Dyah Davis isn't running.
Inside of 30 seconds remaining, round 7, a fight absolutely dominated by Sakio Bika. And no different in this round.
Let's go, guys. Hands are free. Work out of it. It's for the belt, guys.
There's that right hand. End of round 7, and let's take you upstairs now to Gus Johnson and Al Bernstein. All the action upcoming later tonight on Showtime. What do you got, guys?
All right, thank you very much, Barry. We have a whole lot to talk about coming up later on Showtime, along with the International Boxing Hall of Famer Al Bernstein. And Al, Antonio Tarver back in the ring, 43 years old, against a tough African from Lagos, Nigeria, in Latif Coyote.
Yeah, that fight has all the makings of a terrific cruiserweight fight. Almost all cruiserweight fights are good, so we think that one will be good. And there's all the animosity that Coyote has built up for that fight. That one should be good. And in the co-main event, Winky Wright and Peter Quillen, again, an older fighter in Winky Wright, taking on a youngster in Quillen, who's ranked number 5 in the middleweight division.
So Winky Wright comes back after a almost 4-year layoff, and when we talked to him yesterday, he still says that he has all the right stuff to be a champion once again, especially after he defeats Kid Chocolate.
Yeah, if he thinks if he can beat Quillen, he can go right to a middleweight title shot. We'll see.
All right, so that's all coming up later on Showtime Championship Boxing. Now let's go back to Barry Tompkins and Steve Farhood ringside.
All right, thanks very much, Gus. This is round 8. And oftentimes, you know, you watch a fight like this and you can make a case in certain rounds for one fight or the other. This is one fight, Steve, that I don't think you can make any kind of a case for Davis in any round.
Well, you know, the punch stats, the show stats tell the story. Davis 4 connects in round 7. This is a disturbing trend, and it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon.
This is a fight that, despite the fact that he only has 2 losses, Dyah Davis, I think, has to take a long, hard look in the mirror and see what he really wants to do. Very bright guy. For Bika, on the other hand, and you mentioned he's been able to get to the doorstep. He just hasn't been able to cross that doorstep. But now, working with Kevin Cunningham, everything seems to be clicking here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him get another shot.
Well, for Bika, Barry, I think he remains a high-risk, low-reward fighter. He's a tough fight for anybody, as evidenced in the Andre Ward fight. Dyah Davis, he's 30 years old. This is an example of lacking the amateur background. He looked pretty bad when he lost to Pryor on Showbox, and he came back from that and won some fights in a row. So this is a learning experience, but it's disturbing for him because it's really his first fight against a world-class fighter, and he's failing fairly badly.
Yeah. And again, see, Davis tried to get a right hand in, and he just took a harder punch in return from Bika.
Bika really committing to his shots. That's another difference in this fight. Dyah Davis punching as if he's thinking about what's coming back after he punches. Bika really committing to his shots. And his hands are not slow, Sakio Bika.
No.
He's just awkward. You know, he throws from weird angles.
Yeah, I was going to say, even though he throws looping punches, I mean, they get there. But it is nice to see him throw that jab. Right now, Bika has a look of a guy who's just trying to counter. Just wait for that one opportunity. Now he gets Davis in a corner. Davis ties him up.
Davis has a look of a guy who's getting beaten up. That welt under the right eye is a little bigger.
That time Davis just lunged in. End of round 8, and just more of same. Hey, earlier tonight, a fight between Sharif Bogare, the Lion they call him. He comes all the way from Kampala, Uganda, against Manuel Leva. Leva in the last Huracan fight, he had lost 5 of his last 6. He was in there, well, literally with a lion tonight, Steve.
He fought like a lion anyway, Bogare. We've seen him on Showbox. He's undefeated. This was his 23rd consecutive win, knocking on the door of contendership. He's an exciting little fighter at lightweight. Scored a bunch of knockdowns against Leva. Not a big surprise, but a very good win for Bogare, who's one of the shining lights of the young guys in the lightweight division. Bogare only 23 years old.
Yeah, an action fighter, and I have an idea is a guy you're going to see a lot more of. And certainly he wins the costume award, best costume.
That lion was once living.
That's true. And as he told us, there are if you get up close to it, which I have no intention of doing, mind you, you can see the bullet holes. This is round 9 of this 10-round fight. It started being all Bika, and it has continued to be all Bika.
And let's give Dyah Davis some credit. Look at his feet. He's moving forward this round. He's trying. I asked his dad yesterday, what asset do you credit your son with having to enable him to reach this level with no amateur fights? And he said determination. And I think we're seeing that determination.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, in truth, he reminds me a lot of his dad. In the 76 Olympics, this will show you how much I know about boxing. I thought his dad was the best of all of them.
Well, he won the MVP award of that Olympics over Ray Leonard.
There you go, good job.
Dyah Davis would like to get a title shot. Doesn't look like it's coming anytime soon, that's for sure. His dad had 3 of them, and as good as Howard Davis was, never won a world title.
Right. That other guy, Leonard, did pretty well.
Yeah, who's that guy? Leonard of Great Neck, is that?
Yes.
I've heard of that guy.
Stop. No punch. No punch. Let him go. Let him go. Get the arm off. Let him go. Say, let him go. Let him go, right? Box.
There are more sons of fighters today, Barry, than there have ever been. And we saw James McGirt, Buddy McGirt's son. Very similar situation to Dyah Davis. He was a basketball player, took up boxing late. His father said, you want to get into what?
And why?
Yeah, and he only went so far.
Come on, guys. Work out of it. Break. Stop. No punch. Good job. Box.
Well, of course, Leon Spink's son, who we're going to be seeing soon.
Stop. No punch, guys.
And if I saw it correctly on the net, Barry, Leon Spinks' grandson fought professionally recently.
At 4? Starting very young.
So in the toddler division.
Stop. No punch. No punch. Let him go. Let him go. No need to push. All right. Box.
All I know is if I'm Dyah Davis, this is not the guy I want to be fighting when things are not going well.
Now, Bika has really been absolutely dominant, and there's no criticizing Bika at all. I think he's kind of has it neutral right now and has for the past couple of rounds, knowing he's got this fight won.
Watch your heads, guys. Get him up.
I don't think it's a question of fatigue, particularly. A good shot to the body by Bika.
Get him up.
There's that uppercut. He's been waiting for that punch.
He's got a cut by a punch. Cut by a punch.
And there's a cut that referee Thomas Taylor says was caused by a punch. I can't see the cut.
Stop. No punch. Let him go. Let him go. Let's go. Box.
And it is it's on the cheek, left cheek of Dyah Davis. It's not going to affect anything, I think, with 3 minutes remaining in this fight. Well, can't say enough nice things about Sakio Bika as we eavesdrop in the corners.
Last round, baby. No more piggyback. You gotta throw some bombs. You gotta go all out.
I don't want combination. I want 1, 2.
That's wrong. We're going to touch gloves in the center, right?
1, 2, hard. Put your hands up. 1, 2, hard. Put your hands up. Don't lean back. Do not lean back.
Action from round 9. Dyah Davis ducking right into an uppercut. Now, that's a beautiful punch from Sakio Bika. Anticipating Davis bending at the knees like that.
Moffy. 10th and final round now. Sakio Bika and Dyah Davis. And a coming-of-age fight for Sakio Bika. Perhaps not well put coming of age, because he's been there and he's had his opportunities, but the way he's fighting tonight, I think you could make a fair assessment and say he very likely will be there again.
Yeah, that's what this fight is in the big picture for Sakio Bika. It's a reminder I'm still here. He's been a perennial contender, but he doesn't fight a lot.
Get him up.
As we said, he came from the Cameroons to Australia and has lived in Australia for the last 11 years.
Go, hands are free, work up.
Bika pounding the body. It's been a foul-proof fight. Thomas Taylor, a relative rookie, only 3 years as a ref. I'm sure he's grateful for that, because Bika's fights in the past, like the Ward fight, have been difficult to ref.
Yeah, I mean, he looks to me like a more complete product than I've seen prior to tonight. And I realize the opponent probably has something to do with that, but you know, he's using the jab. He's
watch the heads.
Being a little bit more economical with his punches. Good right hand, right on the button.
Guys, hands are free.
And Davis holds on. And another. And Davis is about done. And a left hand and a big right hand. And this one could be over. Taylor taking a very long look. Davis has nothing left, and he's got half the round to go. Bika trying to finish with a flourish. And that's it. It's over. Bika with a knockout.
Barry, I love that stoppage. That was, you know, a fighter doesn't have to be hit by 3 consecutive concussive shots for the referee to step in. That was almost a lull in the action there, relatively speaking, and the ref jumped in. He saw that Davis had had enough.
Absolutely, and I think anybody would know that he was not going to win a decision, and he hadn't done anything close to hurting Bika, so there's no reason to think in the last minute of the fight that he could have knocked his man out. Well stopped.
Now Davis lands one big right hand on the forehead. That was probably the best punch of his fight. Isn't it ironic that he gets stopped very shortly after that? But Bika comes right back. He was very aggressive the entire 10th round after taking the 9th and the 8th off. Banging the body hard. Now, when Davis starts, that right hand was brutal. When Davis starts retreating away like this with his hands down, I was actually looking to Davis's corner saying, are they going to stop the fight? They didn't have to. The referee stopped it when Davis was trapped along the ropes.
Yeah, and absolutely well stopped. First time that Dyah Davis has been stopped in a fight. And for Sakio Bika, I mean, he absolutely did everything right in that fight. So there's the winner, Sakio Bika, and had it have gone to the judges, I feel almost certain it would have been a shutout victory for him. Instead, he finished it in the fashion that he really wanted to, I think.
Yeah, that was an exclamation point from Sakio Bika. And the show stats here tell the whole story. The numbers anemic for Dyah Davis. 21 power shots landed in 9+ rounds. Percentages are low. Sakio Bika, 600 punches, okay. 60 around, about average for that weight class. But he landed all of the punches of meaning.
And you know what? I think it's interesting that he threw almost 270 jabs, and he landed 73% of them. It's not a high percentage, but this is a guy who just didn't utilize the jab, at least in the fights that I watched him prior to tonight. But he certainly did tonight. With that, we'll take it to the center of the ring once more. Jimmy Lennon Jr. to make it official. Jimmy?
Ladies and gentlemen, with a time of 1 minute 40 seconds in round number 10, the referee in charge, Thomas Taylor, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of knockout. He is now the NABF and WBO Intercontinental Super Middleweight Champion, Sakio Bika.
So Sakio Bika, very impressive in his win. In our opinion, a shutout victory, and leaving no doubt about it as he stops his man. Referee stops the fight at 1 minute and 40 seconds of the final round. But very impressive. I mean, I can't say enough good things about what he did.
Barry, I agree with you. And what Sakio Bika proved tonight is something I guess we already knew, which is you can put him against anybody at 168 pounds. You want to put him in with Carl Froch. You want to put him in with Ward again, whoever it is, and he's going to be competitive.
You know, when we overuse, he has a puncher's chance. I know we talk about that a lot. But you know what? He's got a puncher's chance. Adair, honestly, I'm not sure what fight she was watching.
Maybe she was looking into the sun.
That could have been.
No, that's a very odd scorecard when you look at the lack of work rate of Davis. I don't see how you could give any rounds to Dyah Davis.
Yeah, really surprised me. And Adair, normally a very good judge, incidentally, so not to criticize her on her body of work, but 87-84, I don't know. Here are the results from